Okay, guys, so I'm going to be showing some scenes of violence. Uh, Black Nile, who, Black Nile is great at sending me. Oh, Black Nile is really great at sending me kind of updates on what's going on in the world. Sometimes it pertains to videos I've done. Sometimes it's things I didn't previously know about. So he commented in my comment section that he was pretty frustrated. Everybody was talking about Malik Yoba's homosexuality and completely ignoring what was going on in Papua New Guinea. And so, I was thoroughly chastised because although I'm very passionate about transgenderism, you guys know I'm equally passionate about the unification of Blackness, decolonization, and things of that nature. So it's important what's going on in Papua New Guinea because, and I think I'm going to need to do a whole video on this, there are several Black countries throughout the world who are currently in revolution. So even though in America we think revolution is not a thing and it's something we cannot engage in, we need to recognize that our people are actually engaging in revolutionary acts worldwide right now. And it's easy to lose focus of that and the collective effort that needs to happen to send a global message that the Black community globally is tired of discrimination, tired of land raping and pillaging, and all of that. So I'm going to be showing some pretty graphic scenes of violence just to give you guys an idea of what's really going on there. But before I do that, I just want to talk about, because I know a lot of our people, we're not familiar with our family across the globe. So Papua New Guinea is technically a part of Australia. It's part of what is called the Australian ecozone. And that includes basically like Australia, Indonesia, New Zealand. The Dutch came into Papua New Guinea. And if you guys do not know what people from Papua New Guinea look like, they look like us. The Dutch came into Papua New Guinea, as they often do, and they stole the land from the people there. When the Dutch, quote unquote, released Papua New Guinea, they simply handed them over to white Asians. So now Indonesia has control over Papua New Guinea. And ever since this has happened, Papua New Guinea has been attempting to gain their independence. So in my series about evolution, I talked about how in revolution, I talked about how revolution happens in waves. And oftentimes we hear people say, well, this group failed and that group failed, and every time somebody tries to revolt, it fails. But the thing is, that's how revolution works. There will be an uprising, it will be quelled. There will be an uprising, it will be quelled. And eventually, if the people are persistent, the revolution goes down and they're able to overcome their oppressor. So with that said, this is what we see in Papua New Guinea. They have been rising up in revolution for a while. This is not something that started in 2019. It's just getting a lot of press in 2019 because we have Greenpeace over there. We have, socialists over there. You basically have, I hate to say it, white people, because us Black people, as Black Nile pointed out, are not talking about this, who are bringing attention to the fact of that they are having a revolution over there that has peaked and is larger than any revolution that the people in Papua New Guinea have ever had. So I want to talk a little bit about what is going on in this revolution, and then I just want to show you some pictures and just discuss my overall thoughts on this. And the thought process of decolonization and unification of Blackness. You guys know that's the lead video on my page, is Decolonize. Because a lot of times we have divisions and separations within the diaspora, but the reality is that we're all fighting the same battle. And there is something for us to learn from the Haitians and the current Haitian revolution. There's something we can learn from the Papua New Guineans or the Papuans and their revolution. And we need to be paying attention to these things. And we need to get on board, not only in supporting them, but keeping our eye on the revolution of Black people throughout the world. And so I think I will do a consolidated video because I think it will help people see just how how live this really is. Like, the revolution is afoot, and it's afoot globally. There are multiple Black countries that are currently engaging in revolution. So when we talk about these things here, this is not a distant sort of ideology. So let's just get into a little bit of the history of why there is revolution going on right now. And sadly, I hate to say, this is not going to be one of my more popular videos because we just are not revolutionary minded, right? We're entertainment minded. But for those of us who are focused on the purpose and staying focused, this is definitely going to be a conversation that we're going to glean a lot from and we can learn a lot from. So first and foremost, let's be clear on what they are revolting about. They're revolting because they're demanding an end to racial injustice, because obviously they're Black, and we know everywhere Black people are present in this world, everywhere on earth where Black people and white people share a space, Black people are heavily discriminated against. To add insult to injury, this is their country. So they are having a revolution because they're tired of being treated like crap in their own country as Black people. They're also demanding independence. They don't like that the Dutch, white Europeans, handed their country over to white Indonesians. It's their land. And so they feel they got a raw deal in that. How do you release somebody's land to another group of people? And so this is actually at the heart of what the revolution is in Papua New Guinea. And again, I'm going to give people a chance to dip out because I am going to be showing some graphic scenes of violence from this revolution that is happening now. So just within the past 3 days, several people have been killed. The numbers, I don't think that we can really depend on. Countless have been injured, and that includes Black children. They literally went to the street. The national police took to the street and they started slaughtering Black people in the streets of Papua New Guinea. Now, this is not to say that people are not fighting back. There have been soldiers injured. There have been police injured. This is a fight. And it is a beautiful thing that this fight was fueled by young Black college students. We often have a divide between the rich and the poor, the educated and non-educated Black people. The thing is that we are all fighting the same fight. And this current revolution was spearheaded by them. And that actually brings a lot of happiness to my spirit. Now, they're asking that the UN be brought in because these people are torching buildings. There's a revolution. They're doing what they can do. They're asking that the UN be brought in to kind of calm things down. Now, the UN's army is not a peacekeeping army. Recently in Haiti, we know that the UN, and I showed the footage of this on my channel, was in the streets, literally just shooting people in the streets of Haiti. That's how the UN helps. So if people are asking for the UN to come in, what they're really asking is that the UN comes in and slaughters Black people, because that's what they do. We've seen this repeated over and over again. So their peacekeeping army is not so peaceful. They will go into Papua New Guinea, they will shoot the Black people in the streets that are trying to engage in revolution, and that's essentially how they roll. Now, these protests are different than the protests before. And this is because they are more intense. They include a larger number of Black people. Hear me out, you guys. They include a larger number of Black people. And they are more violent. In other words, the people, they want their land back. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to be sharing just some photographs with you guys. And I'm going to be sharing some video with you guys. So let's just take a moment and, let's check all of this stuff out. Like I said, there are going to be some scenes of graphic violence. So if you do not want to see violence, you're probably going to want to get away from the channel now. I'm going to play the video Black Nile sent over, but I'm also going to play some other footage from Papua New Guinea because I want us to get a real idea of what is going on there. And I want us to try to connect this to the idea of social political revolution in our own space and what that looks like. I want people to really dispense with the fear that revolutionary action is something that goes nowhere, that there's nothing that you can do because people have more guns, they have an army, they will kill you. There's a lot of fear mongering that goes on when people try to discuss revolution. And I really want to see that stop. So let me go ahead and share my screen with you. And let's just have a look at what this looks like in real space and time. What our brothers in Papua New Guinea are doing to reclaim their land, and what we can learn from them. Okay. Let's start with the mild stuff and escalate it. How about that? Her sign is asking for demilitarization. They would like to see their land demilitarized. You know, when I hear people saying that throughout the diaspora, these people are not our people, I mean, I clearly see myself in them. Those are clearly other Black people. Let's go ahead and move on to something a little less pleasant. I want you to note, even though this footage is very grainy, all the people that are running. This is what revolution looks like. But fear can't be what stops you. The world is worried about this. They want to call in the UN. Just because you're outgunned or outnumbered does not mean that you have to fall on your back and accept mistreatment, accept a faulty governmental system, accept a social atmosphere that is dangerous and violent to your people. And this is what they're demonstrating for us. And then I want to go over to what Black Nile sent me over. Are these white people and are these Black people? The story plays the same out everywhere. So that footage we saw from across the river, this is that same footage, but on the side that the people were running. I want to play that again on the heels of the other videos that I played. I really need us to understand that this thing has legs already. It's only us in America. Let me just let it play through while I talk. It is only us Blacks in America that are refusing to engage in any sort of real action. And perhaps it's because we are the most comfortable. We are literally the house Negroes of the world. But as we sit complacent in our first world country, whining and complaining about our so-called injustice here, but very, very comfortable with doing nothing, because doing something would mean there's going to be a discomfort added to our life. Other Black people around the world are engaging in revolution, and it doesn't stop with Haiti, Fiji, and Papua New Guinea. This is happening in some countries in Africa. This is happening on several islands. And I have to say that, hold on, let me stop sharing my screen with you guys. I have to say that when we talk about the plight of our people globally, we have to understand that if they are shooting Black people down in the streets of Papua New Guinea, if they are murdering Black people in the streets in Haiti, if they are killing Black people in the streets in Africa, if in Asia they are, I'm sorry, off of the coast, well, it's Asia, but off of the coast of India, if they are murdering whole tribes of Black people, if they have our people as part of human zoos, human safaris today in 2019, why do these Black people, our Black people in the United States, seem to think that anybody is going to respect us? Respect us for what? Because once they leave our country, our people are treated even more like trash than they are here. And when they see our skin, they see that we are the same as them. In their eyes, trash. It is just some food for thought. Black Nile was very frustrated that everybody was reporting on Malik and that nobody was speaking of this revolution. And rightly chastised, we all are as Black content creators. So I'm talking about it. This is another Black revolution that is happening in 2019. This is another Black revolution that is happening in 2019. Where do the Blacks in America stand? Our people are fighting racial injustice and colonization globally. Where is our voice in this fight? When will we see that the struggles we complain about here are amplified throughout the earth? And there is no progress of any one group of us without the progress of all groups. Because while Black Americans rarely leave this country, whites travel in and out of many countries. And what they see is that Blacks are at the bottom of the barrel, the most disrespected group of people on earth, everywhere. And they see us no different when they come here. So it is only our own delusion that makes us feel that we are disconnected from the plight of other people who look just like us. And again, I've said this before, it's not me that's creating these divides. But the divides are there. Or there wouldn't be a revolution happening in Papua New Guinea now. There wouldn't be a Haitian revolution. There wouldn't be revolutions going on in Africa and Fiji. There wouldn't be protests in Australia. And all of our people are saying the same thing. Our skin does not make us less than you, and our skin is not going to be the reason for our oppression. How is that different from the message of those of us here in America? It's just some food for thought. Let's keep our eye on the Black revolutions that are going on throughout the world. Let's bring attention to what's happening in Papua New Guinea so that they do not have the same fate as Haiti, where the UN is sent in to murder the Black people that are stepping out of line. There needs to be a unified Black voice so that the world knows we are all watching. All of us are watching. And as the house Negroes that we are, whether people like to admit that or not, our voices go far. So if you don't want to fight, at least use your voice. At least use your social media platforms. That's the very least any of us can do. Since so many of us are scared to do what our brothers and sisters are doing across the globe, which is go to battle. So if we're going to be too cowardly and too complacent to battle, then we need to at least provide our verbal and visual support so that the days of whole groups of Black people being decimated, whole groups of Black people being oppressed in anonymity, that those things come to an end. That's some food for thought. Feel free to pass the footage around. I'll make sure to put some links. Thanks to Black Nile for coming forward and saying, I'm really frustrated with the fact that we're focused on Hollywood and we're not focusing on this revolution when there's blood running in the streets. I'll talk to you guys later.